What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Off the Mic Sports Network. The big NFL debut, the first game of the NFL season, was certainly a newsworthy one between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles win 24-20. Um, and I did post a video for those who subscribe to the channel at halftime of this game because I felt that there was a big situation that happened early on in this game. And everybody knows what's going on. Jalen Carter, the superstar, one of the better defensive players in the NFL, the best defensive player that I think the Eagles have, former top draft pick, really good player. Just really has a lot of his own, a lot of the issues with him or within him. And so he gets thrown out of the game after spitting at Dak Prescott after the opening kickoff as they were waiting. There was a delay. A player got injured for Philadelphia. There was this long delay that happened. A flag gets thrown, and Jalen Carter, before 6 seconds into the game, 6 seconds into the season, not even playing a single snap. The ball hadn't been snapped, actually. And Jalen Carter is ejected from the game. And we really, all we had was Jalen Carter spitting at Dak Prescott right at his neck, which, I'll say this, there's no place for that in any sport. There's no place for spitting at anybody. I don't care what they do to you. I don't care if they listen. If it's an unnecessary and like racial comment or something like that, I understand that could provoke you to say something like that. Even then, there has got to be some level of restraint, and resorting to spitting at somebody. I'm not the type of guy. There are ways to conduct yourself, especially as a professional athlete on a big stage, opening night of NFL. You're a Super Bowl champion player. You have to conduct yourself with some level of awareness and restraint, no matter what the situation is. That being said, in the delay, because there was a lightning delay in this game. That being said, it looks like something happened that provoked Jalen Carter to do this. Now, depending on your viewpoint of it, if you're an Eagles fan, you probably think that Dak Prescott provoked this situation. Because if you look at the video, it looks like Dak Prescott is spitting at the ground, seemingly in the direction of Jalen Carter. Now, Jason Garrett, the former coach of Dak Prescott, basically said that Dak was joking around with one of his linemen, Tyler Booker, and it was some sort of, and whether you want to believe that or not, I mean, you could watch the video, and I think this is going to become a really divisive topic, especially now considering how much these two teams hate each other, how much of a big rivalry this is in the grand scheme of NFL football. It's also the Dallas Cowboys, who are America's team, depending on how you look at it. The Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, and this was literally before the first snap of the season. Like, it was after the opening kickoff of the first game of the year. So this is going to, until we get to, I mean, yes, there's at least a game on Friday that's going to potentially, maybe change some more headlines. If there weren't any games until Sunday, this would be all that anybody is talking about outside of previewing the games. But first things first, whatever Dak Prescott was doing, it's not a good look. Like, whatever it was optically, and he could give whatever explanation he wants to, there are going to be people that are going to seemingly think that he was trying to provoke. And it seemed like there was another piece of footage where it looked like he was smiling when he did it. He didn't spit. He spit at the ground, but it was seemingly in the direction. And like I said, a lot of stuff is really murky here in the whole explanation of what happened here. That being said, if you're one of these people who's trying to defend Jalen Carter now, I don't know how really you can defend it. Even if we assume that Dak Prescott, a Walter Payton Man of the Year, which is why some people are like, man, he's not spitting at it, or man, Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate, whatever. If we're led to assume that Dak Prescott was indeed trying to provoke and spit at Jalen Carter, if you're Jalen Carter, you cannot retaliate in that way. I don't care what that was. I don't care what he said, what happened. You cannot react in that way. It is the basic rule of thumb in any form of athletic competition, in any form of fight or whatever, or any type of thing that a situation or confrontation that the second guy always gets caught. And the fact that it was right in the line of sight of one of the referees who saw this happen, saw him spitting at his eye level, at right below, like it was right in the line of sight, right at the neck of Dak Prescott. You could see it clear as day. The NBC cameras picked it up immediately of what the fuck happened there, of what caused Jalen Carter, and that was a great job by their crew uncovering that. That it's one of the NBC does as good of a job as anybody at producing these games. Mike Tirico's exceptional. Chris Collinsworth can be hit and miss. He didn't have his greatest night tonight. Melissa Stark's a great interview. Like, the production people over there at NBC are terrific, and they did a great job of picking this up. And so in the moment you think, okay, Jalen Carter's bad. He's getting suspended, or he deserves to get suspended. How could you spit at somebody like that? And we're calling it Spitgate. I get emotional. I come up here and I basically say, Jalen Carter, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. And then during the lightning delay that happened, that delayed this game by about 45 minutes, NBC found some more footage with more context of basically saying Dak Prescott did, in fact, spit at the feet or near Jalen Carter. So there's a lot of complicated nature to this situation. And I'm recording this. Obviously, there could be more information that came out. Dak could be meeting the media by the time this posts, and I don't have access to that at the time of this. Regardless of what he says, this is going to be an incredibly uncomfortable and divisive issue to talk about for the next. I honestly think that this is going to be talked about for a while, at least until we get to Sao Paulo and Chargers Chiefs tomorrow. But if nobody looks good in this. Like, it's just it doesn't look good for Dak, who seemingly has a sterling reputation in terms of, like, Walter Payton Man of the Year, exemplary guy. Everybody seems to, for the most part, kind of like him. And then, if you're the Eagles, it's like, listen, you've got to get a hold of Jalen Carter and basically tell him, dude, you can't be doing this shit. Like, they took this guy 9th overall when a lot of teams took him off their board because he had that reckless driving, street racing charge at Georgia that killed 2 people. He was in an accident that killed 2 people. And this is kind of like the book on this guy. And it may cost him a lot of money because you can't be putting your team behind the 8 ball like that. I don't care what was going on before that, what led to that, what provoked the situation. The second guy always gets caught. You have to know better. You can't be that much of an idiot. You really can't. And it almost cost the Eagles a game. He's very fortunate that the Eagles were able to get out of the win and the Cowboys got in their own way and fumbled a golden opportunity to win this game. But he's their best defensive player. They've lost key pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Like, you can't be putting yourself in harm's way and, be putting yourself in a situation where you're getting thrown out of the game before a snap is even taken. And you're subjecting yourself to criticism. You have to be better. You have to be better as a professional athlete. Again, that's the same stuff goes for Dak Prescott. If he was trying to provoke this or whatever it was, that's not a good look either. Because optically, that's what we have in front of us. That's why this is a complicated issue. So Cowboys fans, Eagle fans, argue amongst yourselves in the comments, however you want to feel like this. Like I said, whatever it was from Dak, whatever it was from Jalen Carter, both these guys don't look good. Jalen Carter absolutely looks terrible. Nothing is going to get him off the hook. All these people saying, this changes the whole situation. It doesn't. Jalen Carter still spit on Dak Prescott. That can't happen. That cannot happen. So that's my take on this whole situation. We'll have a lot more coming from the NFL, college football. Football's back, everybody. And we're going to have a game on Friday night. We're looking forward to that with the Chiefs and the Chargers from Brazil. That should be a lot of fun. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.